Okay, so we will start this evening by presenting ourselves. We will talk about relocating from Sweden to from Brazil to Sweden and how it's like to live in Sweden. So I am Maiken. I work at Xplipro as a business assistant, and these are my colleagues from Brazil. So you can start.
I'm John. I'm from Porto Alegre. I moved to Sweden about 3 years ago now, and I work as a business analyst in one of our customers, Volvo Cars.
Nice. First of all, I'd like to thank Xplipro once again for giving me the opportunity to share my experience here in Sweden, right? So my name is Gregory. I'm from Brazil. I grew up in Porto Alegre city, the same city as Sweden and John. I'm married, have a little baby boy named Oliver. We will discuss a little bit more about the parenthood later on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been living in Gothenburg and working as IT consultant at Xplipro since January last year. And my current assignment is at Volvo Cars, and I work as an IT incident manager for the commercial digital market support.
Nice.
Right. Yes. And hey, everyone. My name is William. I'm also from Porto Alegre, and I've been living in Sweden now for 2 years. It's been such a nice experience. And I'm working now in one of our customers. It's Polestar, and a car company, electric car company. And I'm working as a rollout manager, which is like a project manager with another name, so you can understand better. And yes, live in Sweden for 2 years, married. I also moved with my wife 2 years ago, and we now have a baby coming, so the family is growing. In January, we are going to be 3, me, my wife, and a baby girl.
Please join the team.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you guys for being here. It's very nice that you're here. So we will start with a general question, and that is, what is the best thing about living in Sweden? So Gregory, you can start.
I can start. I thought a lot about this answer because Sweden as a country has so many good things to say, I would say. Like the culture in the country is really nice. The country has beautiful places to explore, and the delicious food like we are seeing here, the fika. But then I decided to pick up one thing that for me summarizes everything, which is the logom culture. You know, I was discussing the other day with Jonas and Magnus about this, and this is just fantastic because it basically means it's a unique term in Swedish, and it basically means that you have to always chase the balance in your life, whether it is for professional, personally, for the family, or your social interactions. So for me, it basically summarized all the good aspects that we have here in the country. And this is a thing from the culture that I'm trying to absorb to myself and apply in my life as well. So this is the best.
Very
Just
nice.
fantastic.
Yeah, good answer.
It's a hard word to translate, but how would you, the Swede among us here, explain the word lagom?
Lagom. Yeah, I would say if it's not too much and not too little, like you can say it about a lot of things. Like this was lagom hot. Like the coffee was not like you didn't burn yourself, but it was warm enough. But
Like
also,
good enough.
Good enough, but not good enough. It sounds a little bit bad, but it's like perfect. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But as you say, it's also like a way of living.
Yes. Yeah. I think the work life. When we think about this lagom culture and like work-life balance is a thing here in Sweden, very different than Brazil. So I think all of us can agree that when we come here, we need to slow it down a little bit, because in Brazil, things can be much more fast-paced and intense all the time at work. But here, when it's 4 o'clock, it's 4:30, people know, but you need to go home, you have a family, why are you staying late? And it's a different culture in this aspect, and I think it's very good. You can work hard in this time of the day, but then later you go home and you live other things in your life. Your life is not 100% about work. And I think that's a great thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that here in this question, I almost said that it's great to have 3 fields to play soccer. This is amazing. But my venture about the best thing in Sweden to me, it's about the way that people seem to have a sense of trust in each other or in the system. Like we start here with the principle that people are going to do the right thing. A good example I would say is that like public transportation. we don't have people like seeing every single bus or train if you bought the ticket in your smartphone. People start with the principle that you should buy it because you're using the public transportation. So why we need to see if you did. So sometimes they check, but not always, because they trust in each other. And I think this is a very important thing to have in society, like trusting people for things like this, like public transportation, but also trust if you have something that you lost and you need to get back, like your bag or something. I lost my bag here in like I was waiting the bus, and my bag was like in the seat when I was waiting the bus, and when I realized it was like 2 hours late that I missed the bag. I did all my way back, and my bag was there in the same place in the seat when I was waiting.
I lost my AirPods as well in the bus, and I found them again because someone just gave back. And
it's super nice to have this sense of trust, and that's also why I decided to stay in Sweden. I mean, I moved with the sense of, okay, let's see what is going to happen in my first year in Sweden, but the sense of trust make me more confident about bringing my life to this country.
It is also common in parks. You see backpacks close to the trees, and people go for a walk and leave the personal things there, and then come back later on, and nothing happens. So this is so nice.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went skiing with some friends, and we had to drop our bags somewhere, and they said, just leave there in the corner. And I'm like, how can I just leave it in the corner? Like, just leave it in the corner. And we skied the whole afternoon, came back, and of course it was there. Like, you just leave your stuff and people don't take it. It's weird in the beginning, but you learned and you like it.
Yeah, we Swedes take it a little bit for granted, but it's very true.
I would also like to add on what John said before about work-life balance, because I like to think in a day of 24 hours, we basically spend 8 hours a day working, another 8 hours with our family or at home, and then 8 hours sleeping. That's the general rule. That's it.
So not for you as a dad now.
No sleep at all. 12 divided now. But it's really important to be part in a good work environment where you feel comfortable and you feel good. And also at home to split this time with your family as well. So this balance is really important for life in general.
Nice.
Should we check if the audio is good to them?
Do you guys hear us good?
Yeah, otherwise you can comment in the chat if there's some problem.
Just wondering. Good.
Yeah, great. So now we will go on to some more specific areas. So I will ask each one of you some questions that I think is more suitable. So like we can start with you, John, because I think you are very incorporated in the culture. You have learned very good Swedish. You are managed very good with Swedish. How would you describe some main culture differences between Brazil and Sweden?
I think other than what we already spoke about work, and I think society here is something that you notice that things just work. That was my first like weird realization when I came. Like, okay, I had a process for visa, for passport, like all the things that are included in this package of moving here. And I was so surprised. Wow, things just work. You know, they say that will come this day, and it comes. And the way society is organized here, I think it's much different. And in the beginning, you find it, you're just okay, what is it? But it's just different. You have this idea, I think I had at least, that people in Sweden are colder. I think everybody says that. When they say, I'm going to Sweden, people there are cold. And the weather is also cold.
Yeah, you can read that a lot online.
It's the first thing that always says, people are different. It's like, but my experience is that people are not cold in the sense that we expect them to be. I mean, it's not like they're closed to you, but they just respect more your space than in Brazil. If you think about comparing the two cultures, because in Brazil we're always, we go too close sometimes, to people, and it's normal.
Maybe to give opinions about other people's
like
life,
if I talk about your life, or if I even physically, I can get very close to you, but here people respect your space a lot. That doesn't mean that they are closed to you. Maybe they want to be friends with you, but it's just different. So after you start understand a bit how the Swedes work, I think it makes a big difference because it's not like, oh, they're cold and we Brazilians, we are more friendly. And it could be that we are a little bit more friendly, but you know, like it's not that big of a gap as people think it is.
Okay.
So that's one thing I think it's different.
One thing I thought about before moving to Sweden, I was packing my things, so my luggage, preparing my luggage to move. And I looked at my shirt, I looked at my shorts, and I thought, okay, well, will I wear this in that country? Because for Brazilians, it only snows here all the time. Summer, winter, it doesn't matter. We only have snow.
That's what we hear.
Exactly. That's not true, actually. We had a really good summer.
Yeah, that's also a thing. We expect it to be cold all the time and unbearably cold, which it is not. I mean, it's pretty manageable and it's fine.
Yeah, and it's warm inside.
It's warm inside all the time. That's the difference from the houses here and the house in Brazil. In Brazil, maybe it's not even relevant to everyone in Brazil, but in Porto Alegre, like in the south part of Brazil, it can get very cold. And the houses are cold and it's cold inside. And you have big jackets inside all the time. But here, it's cold outside. It's cold when you walk, when you put a jacket, but when you come in, it's just warm and you wear your t-shirt. It's different.
Yeah, interesting. Do you have something to add, William?
I was going to say the same about the cold, actually. So I just spoke about it because it's what television tells you about Sweden in when you're in Brazil. Like it's cold. There are maybe some wolves and bears everywhere. But no, but definitely it's great. And I totally agree with John. Like the sense of things just work. It's great. It's the same to everything, even to like it's small things during the day, the deliveries that they will bring and put in your door. They're not going to tell you that it's there. They just leave your package there and nobody will take it. So it's there. it's great. It's a great sense of trust on what is happening.
Yeah.
I expected Swedes to be bad at football.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I came here like, Swedes, they don't play football. We Brazilians, we play football. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Know how to play.
No, And the problem is that they think that we know how to play great football. That is actually
big pressure.
Yeah, that's a big pressure.
Yeah, but you are playing very good. But I was thinking about that. In terms of hobbies, like how has your life changed since you moved here? Do you have some, is there some things that you cannot do here that you did in Brazil? Or is there some new things that you started doing here?
I always liked sports. And I think we are I feel at least a little bit limited in terms of sports in Brazil. For example, we play football, we maybe play volleyball in the beach, but like there's a lot of sports that are a bit out of your, like you don't think about them. Golf or playing tennis or this kind.
Skiing.
It's skiing. It's not as often that people do it. Maybe because it can be quite expensive in Brazil. But here, nothing is off the table. People play everything.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Skiing is not even possible in Brazil.
True.
Yeah, but it's connected to what you said. I mean, it's something that everybody can access because let's say skiing, for example, or golf. It seems to be some sport that can be expensive for people can understand that, but actually you can borrow all the equipment for free. You can
buy secondhand.
But like there are places in the city where you can go there with your ID. You borrow the equipment again for
like
free.
ice skating, for example.
Exactly, and you go skiing. You go to place that you can do that. It's just great.
And that's for me was very nice because I really like sports. And like you get to test a lot of different things, play different things, meet new people in the companies promote events for sports and and you go and play something different with everybody. And that's very nice. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, nice. So talking a little bit more about the Swedish, how has it been for you to learn Swedish? How was that experience?
In the beginning, it was very hard, very hard. But I think nobody here cares so much if you make mistakes. And that was very important for my learning process, at least, that I always felt very free to try. because people are like, yeah, it's nice that you try. I like to see you trying. I can help you. People are helpful. Nobody criticizes you for for making mistakes, and that was very helpful. And for me, I think it was a bit easier because I always had Swedish friends around me.
Yeah.
So I made friendships with Swedes, and yeah, I started to talk to them and getting the opportunities. So like the other scenario could be that I just find a lot of Brazilians and we just hang around, we Brazilians, and we never learn Swedish. That could also be because also in society here, it's not needed that you learn Swedish. No way. You can do everything and speak in English. Everywhere people speak English. There's no barrier. There's no awkwardness in needing to speak English, as it could be in Brazil. Like if you go to a restaurant and you speak English in Brazil, people are like, "What? Well, I don't know what to." But here it's like it's the most normal thing. There's a lot of people from other places, so you don't need to learn Swedish. But so that creates an environment where you don't have this pressure as well. So for me, that was very good.
Nice.
Yeah, I think in my team, as an example, sometimes they say, okay, Gregory, now we're going to change to Swedish so you can practice your listening a little bit, learn the new words. So they are always willing to help and interested as well in my learning of the language. And I think it's a sign of respect from us coming from a different country with your culture to show this interest in learning the language, even though like John said, we can do basically everything speaking English in the country, but this is a nice thing.
It's like you don't need, but it's appreciated if you do. I don't know how it feels for you Swedes,
but definitely it shows that you want to be here long term and that you have some ambitions. Nice, thank you very much. So Gregory, you became a dad 2 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty exact.
Challenging experience.
Yeah.
Both excited and challenging, I would say, but definitely a positive, really positive, and it's a bless, spirit, love, and joy. You know? And thinking about becoming a parent here in Sweden, I would say, due to the fact that Sweden has a lot of family-friendly policies and a generous parental leave. We'll also discuss a bit about this later on. And
how many days is it?
180.
180.
480.
480.
For both parents, right?
1.5 years.
For both. Yeah.
Okay, so you split how you want, kind of.
Yeah, there is one specific days, one amount of days. I don't know.
Parents are eligible to take combined for 180 days. It's mandatory for each one to take 90 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 90 days.
And when the baby is born, it's like 10 days
exactly
for both to stay home. I mean, for the dad to stay home.
Yeah.
Which in Brazil, I think it's like 5 days by rule.
A part of those 480.
Consecutive days in Brazil.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
And the parents are allowed to take both together only 30 days, but mandatory 90 days for each, and then the remaining 300 days they can choose as they wish.
Yeah, that's great.
So because of this healthcare system in Sweden, I would say it made this transition into parenthood smoother.
Yeah.
Because we have the support from the government, we have good conditions, we have a great instructor here. And the healthcare system is for free from the moment of the first prenatal checkup or doctor appointments, ultrasound, everything until now. Because even now, after the Oliver is born, we keep going to the doctor's appointment, we keep doing the checkups, and it is still for free. And we still have the support weekly, monthly.
And what do you think about the healthcare system? Do you think that is a good level, or are you thinking, oh, it's for free, so it's not so good? Or what has your experience been?
It's just amazing. From my point of view, I would say I got really impressed with the healthcare system in general here. I remember the day Oliver was born, my wife had the first contraction 1-ish a.m. around. So immediately I called the hospital, and they provided all the guidance needed on the things, what to do, how to act on that situation.
In English.
In English, exactly. I was in English, but I called them every 15 minutes to ask, okay, now we have another contraction. And when around 4 a.m. we decided to go to the hospital, and there was a team of skilled healthcare professionals waiting for us, ready to assist us.
And this is interesting. They was like waiting for you, right?
Exactly.
They was prepared.
They were literally in the door waiting for us.
Wow.
Yeah. So my experience in this way was really positive regarding the
Yes, it
healthcare.
makes you feel safer.
Yeah, and Gregory is
Yeah,
saying.
you still had some experience.
Yeah, I already have some experience. Like the baby's coming in January, so something is already happening with the healthcare system.
Yeah, exactly.
And something that is, it's really great. I think you mentioned a little bit about this, how the structure works, because that is not like just the physical health, but it's also mental health, and they provide a lot of support. Like they call to the woman to see, are you okay? Things are good with you? Do you need an assistant? Is there like anything scaring you that you need a support or something? And this is fantastic. I mean, they care a lot about the human aspect or everything that is happening, not just like physically, but also the mental aspects of this. So it's incredible. And again, it's for free. It's very good.
Yeah. So do you see any benefits of having kids in Sweden compared to Brazil?
Absolutely. Several benefits.
Yeah.
The first one, most famous one, is this one we just mentioned now, that it's generous parental leave, right? Which allowed me to enjoy the parent. At the same time, I could manage my work career as well, because of the work-life balance as well, you know. So I could take this first days off, stay with my family, follow the birth of my son, and stay at home for the first days, and then back to work now. And then later on, we are planning to go to Brazil soon to visit the family. So the family wants to meet Oliver. So we're going to take some days off. And this, as I said before, welcome, and as John said, the work-life balance. This balance between those things, it's really good.
And there's no pressure, right? It's all the other way around. The companies are actually asking you, please stay more time with your kid. This is important.
You are incentivized to stay at home with your family.
Why are you working? You don't have a kid.
Please go home.
It's something quite different to me. This impression from management that you should stay with your kid.
That also applies when like if you're sick or something. Because like if you say also the trust thing, like if you wake up and you're feeling sick, you can just say, oh, I'm feeling sick today, I'll not be working. Nobody will question you if you're sick. Nobody will ask you to.
They trust you.
To prove that you're sick in some way. But like, you're sick.
Bring a receipt from
and
doctor.
Then if I say in the morning that I'm feeling sick, and at like 11 in the morning I'm doing something, I'm texting people or sending emails, they're like, "Bro, you're sick. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop working. Chill. It's okay." So it's like, at first it's like, yeah, okay, and then you kind of get used to like, okay, people trust me, that's good. So you'll learn to so it's
I remember the first days at work, I still had that Brazilian mentality of work. We still with sick, still with fever, you know. And then my manager told me, please go home, stop. You are not in position to do this. And I said, okay, I know, but I have to work, you know. It doesn't matter if I'm sick or not. It doesn't matter how I'm feeling. And this is a mentality we bring from Brazil, but it is totally different. It's completely different.
And one more thing, I don't know if you agree with me, but for the question, like the difference between Brazil and Sweden on having kids, one thing is about planning your family. I don't know how many people in the call watching this are like already have kids or maybe are planning to do that. But in Brazil, more recent couples, it's like a trend. They have less kids or smaller families. And one of the reasons it's because of the money. They think, okay, I want to have more kids. I need to pay for a good education. And then that is like university and I need to pay for a lot of good things. But here it's other mentality. Once you have free education since the beginning,
because that was something that I was thinking about. It's good to mention that education is free. Universities are free.
University,
you even get
masters.
some money every month to go to university.
I was going to mention that. The kid gets money. Like since he's born, the kids start getting some money for all the food.
The parents
take care. And then you have education for free. You have everything for free from the government. So the families I'm learning that here in Sweden, but seems to be planned in another way. You don't think about the size of your family or how many kids are going to have thinking about money, but it's more about what you want from your family or things like that. So money is not like the point that breaks you to have more kids here. This is great, actually.
Just to add the other way around, like you joke, like your parent list is ending. When's the next one coming?
Let's prepare the next one. And now talking about this thing, actually, each parent gets 625 kronas per month, if I'm not mistaken, up to 16-year-old, the kid.
Wow.
As a benefit from the
And
government.
that's converts to like 300 reais, maybe.
Yeah.
And the tax level is like around the same as in Brazil.
Yeah, that's one thing that I thought was a bigger difference. Because people usually think about that and say, oh, but Swedish is very high taxes. And it's not that much higher. It's like just a few percent higher.
Yeah, it's usually around 30%.
Yeah, 30%.
In other hand, the salary is high compared to Brazil. The minimum salary.
In average,
In average.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Very nice to hear. So William, you are very engaged on LinkedIn, and you have your blog talking a lot about career, how to develop as a person, and so on. So go check that out.
Yeah, thank you for promoting
it. So what do you think about building a career in Sweden?
Yeah, that's great. I think that when I was applying to the process, maybe if you are in the process of Explibro or you are considering to apply, we get quite anxious about a lot of things, like, okay, but things in Brazil looks like good for me right now. I'm in a good position. I'm going to move. I need to do like networking again and everything. But the good thing here, I learned in these 2 years, is that every single business area seems to be like in a growing moment. Even like with some crisis or crisis discussion happening and things like that, business are still like going to the direction of new things or growing or going to be more modern in some way or bringing more technology to their business or doing like in IT a digital transformation in the company, which create a lot of opportunities. So I see building a career in Sweden right now as a great moment or a great opportunity for many different areas. If you are more like super technical person, you are needed. But if you are more generalist, like I am, work with project management and things like that, you are also needed because business are requiring this type of skills everywhere. And this helps you to have choices, and having choices in career is one of the most important things. So I think
all industries are growing.
All industries, yeah. So I know that John, you are like you have more than one assignment already in different clients here at Explibro. I'm in my second one right now, and this flexibility on being a consultant also help you to connect these windows of opportunities with what you want to be or what you want to where you want to grow. And this is great. So I think that building a career in Sweden, it has a very good mix on great opportunities with developing yourself in the way that you want to develop.
Yeah, this consultancy career is very interesting. It's a bit different than what we think. Like I didn't know how it was before I came, but I don't think we have something similar in Brazil. Because you have the stability of being like hired by one company, but you also have the flexibility and the possibility of working in very different areas and industries in different customers while still working for the same company. So it's my third year. I'm in my third assignment, and I had different possibilities. I worked with different things in different customers, and if I start to not enjoy anymore what I'm doing now, I can talk to my manager. It's like, maybe we can start looking for a new assignment in another customer. Maybe I want to work with a different industry, and then we look for it, and it's no pressure. It's in a good pace that is comfortable for you, and I think it's very very good because I like to do different things. I like to try new things and learn new things. So it's very very positive.
It's a good way to build the CV. You get a lot of different experiences.
That's true.
I was about to say that especially good for those who are starting in the job market as well. It's a great opportunity to gather experience from different assignments and progress in the career. Right?
Great. So do you have any tips for those who want to develop a career in Sweden, start a career here?
Well, I would say that it can seem a little bit like a general thing, but I don't think so. About taking care of your soft skills together with your hard skills.
Okay.
And this, I mean, it can be generalist or a general tip because it's the same everywhere. But here in Sweden, it's quite special because the culture or the way of working normally asks you to participate in the discussions, to engage in the discussion, to participate in the decisions that are making. Because the companies usually, at least what I experienced so far, you guys can say from your clients as well, are more flat. So instead of have a super centralized way of taking decisions, like one person taking decisions, the culture here allows you to participate more, to engage more in the discussions. So that's why I started saying about hard skills and soft skills being so important. And even if you are not this type of person, maybe you are super good technically, but you have something to develop yourself more like in communication or things like that, you are going to be listed. And this is important. For me, it's super important. And this is, I don't know for you agree, but this flat way of working it's easy to see here. I mean, a lot of companies everywhere are talking about being flat, about being agile or things like that. But in the end, they are not so like that. But in the two clients or the two projects I worked so far, I see that happen. And this is super important.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I can see what you're saying. Like if I think my team today, for example, I think there are 6 developers and 2 business analysts and a PO. And for most of the bigger decisions that we need to take regarding the product, everyone is participating.
Okay.
It's often that everyone gets an invite to a meeting, and then we also need to should I be on this meeting? Should I not be on this meeting? Am I needed? Should I go or not? But everyone is included the possibility to participate if you want. If you want to develop, if you want to learn more in this or that, you're always
have some
free.
opinion.
Yeah, you're always free to participate and go on.
I totally agree with William and John. Actually, people are not just willing to let you expose your ideas, but also incentivating you to do that. Taking as example my current assignment, the things are very dynamic. Things change all the time in the company, in the organization. By the way, we have a new structure from the last 16th of October, so things changed at work. And they always try to promote those workshops, those sessions in order to bring new ideas and adapt to this new reality. Because things are dynamic when we talk about business, when we talk about, especially in our company, sales and things. So we have to always adapt ourselves to the new reality. And this is really important, bring new ideas and people to collaborate together in order to achieve the common goal.
Yeah. And the second thing I have to say, now this is super specific to migrating to Sweden or to international career, is that I was in your shoes, like thinking about moving to another country, and we are always reflecting, is this the time to do that? Am I really ready? Am I really good enough to that?
Yeah.
Let the recruiters or the people who are going to talk with you help you to understand that.
That's a good
because
point.
it brings a lot of anxiety, like maybe I'm not ready to this role. I'm not ready to do that. I cannot.
If I'm hiring you and I'm telling you, I think you're good enough, why would you help them?
Exactly. So believe in all your skills and everything that you have in your resume, everything, and talk with the recruiters to take this decision together. This is super important. I have a lot of friends who say to me, oh, I really want to move to Sweden, or I really want to have an international career, but they are afraid to just click in the button and send the CV. And sometimes this is just what is needed, like clicking the button, send the CV, and maybe in 1 month you are in a new country.
My process from the moment I had an interview with the customer and I got Sweden was less than 2 weeks. It was it was crazy. So it was but what you said made me think about something I think it's very important, an important difference in the workplace here. A lot here, people value a lot people. People over skills sometimes. So it's like, maybe you're not the most technically qualified for this. But we see that you fit in this team. you seem to be nice to work with, you fit in the team. That's what they're first interested about.
Yeah.
So like,
and I think Brazilians, they are often very good at being social, being like outgoing, and then I think that's really a good benefit for you guys. So,
one of the first things you hear, like you might do a good interview. I really like your personality, or like like this is important for them. Personality, like how you interact with people, how you handle situations. Sometimes that can be much more important than your technical skills. And so yeah, they are interested in you as a person, as a whole, not only the John that goes to work, but the John.
Yeah,
and that was something that Michael was talking about last session also, that it's important also in the interview process that you can be personal, because people want to know about you, not just what you can do.
Yeah, they ask you questions. What do you like to do in your free time? And they are interested in knowing that.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's not a trick question to make you answer.
It's not a trick question, and you shouldn't say like pretend that you like things that you don't. Like, oh, I really like to read and study, and like you want to make it look like you like a very committed person. They want to know if you like to play football, if you like to go to the movie theater. They want to know what you do for real. So it's be open and talk about yourself, because that's what they want to know.
And talking about last event as well, I have some friends which told me like, okay, I liked it a lot. I plan to move to Sweden. Now I start to prepare. In 5 years, I will apply for this position. I said, what? Apply now.
Yeah, 5 years.
So yeah, we already mentioned some things about the differences in work culture. But do you have some more things that you think about that are different?
I have one thing that is somehow connected to what John started saying before about like this sense of work-life balance and everything. That is the workaholic being a star in a lot countries. This is definitely not the case.
Not the star here.
This is not the case.
Maybe some people in Brazil are used to working with the USA, and there is a lot like that.
Exactly. Exactly. This type of culture. Here, if you have problems to solve, like very hard exceptions, and need to work more, it's one thing. But if you are like this type of person that needs more work hours and is doing like overtime all the time, maybe you are not giving the right impression. This is different here in Sweden.
It's not well. People don't perceive that as a good thing.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in Brazil, it's synonymous like those who arrive early at work and leave late, and workaholic is synonymous of a good worker. Okay, then you are a good professional because you are working extra time.
Yeah, here I have the impression that if you start to working super early and you stop like super late, the impression that I have is that people see you as a not organized person with your time. Because
why do you need to stay late?
You don't have a life, maybe.
You don't have a life. Like, and back to what we are saying, they want to have nice people to work with, people that they want to have a coffee with, or maybe a beer in the end of the day or something like that. But people that are nice, or if you are working all the time, maybe you're not
have a lot of coffee breaks in the day, and it's not nice if you're not there because you're working. I mean, like, oh, we have coffee break at 3, and then you're like, oh no, I have things to do. I can't go. That's people want you to go. It's more important to be together with the team and talk and build relationships than to.
Yeah, and as I said, it can happen. Sometimes you are in a project that, this week things are going quite hard. We are like, I don't know, deploying a new service or going to a new market or going to, things like that. Then hard exceptions. But if this is our way of working, I don't think it fits very well in the culture here.
Yeah, exactly. And then last week we were posting some things on LinkedIn, like about the work culture here. And then one thing that we mentioned is that you're more efficient when you're working, and then to have this balance that when you're off, you can really be off. Do you agree with that? Do you think it's like that, or?
I completely turn off when I'm not at work.
Yeah.
So
me too.
Yeah, I think so. You try to be efficient when you're there, and then when you're not there, you don't think about work. I don't want to think about work, and people don't want me to think about work. I had this experience, this situation with a coworker this week, and like, you're doing something together. Oh, can you maybe do this and work on that? And if you have time, and I don't expect you to work extra to do things.
Yeah.
Like no, if you can do it.
Yeah.
But like people totally respect if you have other things to do, or people know that you manage your time good. Like you expect people to know. So that's, I think it's very good here.
And
Yeah.
there's another thing in Brazil: when you are overloaded at work in Brazil, then you cannot ask for help, because otherwise people will think you are weak, you cannot handle you are not doing your responsibility, you know.
Yeah.
And here is totally the opposite. People ask for you to ask for help, and don't be overloaded at work at all. You know, because otherwise you cannot do the things in the proper way.
Yeah.
I think it's good to mention that this general perceptions about culture and their workplaces. It's not like we're saying that everything here is good and everything.
Exactly.
It's differences.
It's different, yeah.
In culture, but of course there are companies in Brazil that also have very good work-life balance.
Yeah.
So just so we're clear here.
Another thing is, maybe someone in the call has this way of working by like, is the way of working to work that hard. I was like that because I work into American company before I moved to Sweden.
Yeah.
And something that I learned is that everything can be adapted. So everything that I learned about working hard is still good, is still great to my spirit, but now I can compare with a more balanced life.
Yeah, maybe you work hard when you need to work hard. And
spend the time working hard during the work hours. And then, as you said, completely turn off when
be efficient during the work time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember you said that when you came, because I came a little bit before you, and then we became friends when you came, and then I was told to slow it down. My manager came to me and said, "William, wait."
Sure. That's
true. That's me.
Okay, so I have one last question for you guys, and then we're gonna take some questions from the chat. So if anyone has questions, please write them in the chat, and we can take the last 15 minutes to answer those questions. So my questions now is for you. What are your best advice for anyone who's going for an interview with a Swedish company?
Good one.
Yeah, I can start maybe saying, maybe it's repeating a little bit ourselves here, but is think about your personality and not, we mentioned that, like, not only your skills are super important, are super important, but also connect your human aspect, who you are as a person, and bring this to the interview. This is super important.
Yeah, I was gonna say be yourself. Seems a bit, but it's the reality.
Yeah.
If you don't talk about it, they will ask you, and if you can't answer about who you are as a person, you're lowering your chances by a lot. I think if I'm an interviewer and I think and you don't talk about yourself, and I'm trying to understand, like, but who is this guy as a person? And you're like, and you dodge the question and go back to work, and I'm like, but why don't you talk about yourself? I think it's important to, in an interview, to have clear answers and not be dodging questions, but also mix, like, talk about work experience, but also talk about you. So it's important things. Don't talk 5 minutes about a question and explain everything in very detail unless you're asked about, like, to be more detailed. But direct answers and concise answers, not direct answers, that you can summarize things and answer what's asked and not go around and around. I think that's a good tip.
Yeah, good.
I would say no one is perfect, so you don't need to pretend to be perfect in all the areas that you are in the position. Don't pretend to be overqualified that then you really are, and focus on soft skills, be yourself, show that even though you don't know something very good, then you are willing to learn, willing to help, and willing to assist the team, and show that you are a nice person to have a coffee together and to discuss new ideas. This is so nice, and this explains a lot about the Swedish culture, as you guys said. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, great.
I was told by my manager that it's good to demonstrate that you're interested. And I think that helped me a lot, because if I'm interviewing you, I want to see that you want to work in my company,
that you have read about the company,
Yeah,
that
like-
you know, that you have some questions.
Yeah. And I remember that I was very specific. In my first assignment was an interview with Volvo Cars, and I said that no, but I'm really interested in that position. I think it would work very good for me and for you. And I think that was important, because they want people that want to work there. They don't want to, like that you're choosing to work in that particular assignment, in that particular customer for a reason, and that's very, very good.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so I will take the computer now and see if we have some questions in the chat. So there's one guy here asking, where do you live? And what do you, if there is anyone living a little bit outside, maybe the city, and commuting to work.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good question for William and John.
We live in Kungsbacka, which is a city by train is like 25-30 minutes.
Did you forget already, now that you want your new fancy car?
By car it depends on the time, but it's around that. And Kungsbacka is more to the south of Gothenburg. I work in Gothenburg, and I'm living there for. I don't know if there's one specific reason, but it's a super nice city. I like there, and I have a couple of Brazilian friends also living there, like nearby. It's a good mix. But
we live in the same city.
Yeah,
it's quite some Brazilians there. You moved there after because you made friends there.
Yeah,
I guess, right?
Yep.
And I also moved there. It's a small city. What, 50,000 inhabitants maybe. Gothenburg is 500,000. So it's good. Public transportation work very good. As you say, you're completely right. It's like 25-30 minutes by train. The trains are in time. There's place in every train. It's very easy. So you take like maybe from the city we live, takes maybe 1 hour to commute to work. But it's different than, I feel like it's different than in Brazil, because I also took like 1 hour, a little bit more in Brazil. But here I can sit on the train. I can even start working if I want. I can check emails in the train. You can use your phone freely in the train. You sit down, you can read, sometimes it's better to go by train because you can actually do something. If you're driving 30 minutes, you need to be driving and focusing on what you're doing. But in the train, you can do different things, and it works very good.
Nice. And Gregory, you live more in the center of Gothenburg?
Yes.
How is that for you?
Really good. I'm more into the kind of big city guy. I like not the capital, but in Gothenburg. I work and live in Gothenburg, exactly. And I was just to risk myself to try to compare Kungsbacka with a city in Rio Grande do Sul. For the people who are at home watching us, especially from Rio Grande do Sul, it's a kind of Gramado or Canela city. I don't know if you guys agree with me. A small city that with some unique things,
like a charming city.
Charming city, yes.
I could see the comparison.
Kind of.
But how do you commute to work?
You mean
how do you commute to work? Do you go by tram?
Yes. Actually, now the lines has changed a bit, so I have to take 3 transports at the moment because my house is a bit far. But the public transport is super efficient. I mean, even though I'm taking 2 or 3 public transport, in 20-30 minutes I reach out to the work. And it's never busy. I always have available seats in the bus. And tram as well, so nothing to complain about.
It works quite good. It's good to say, like when you commute here, you have one app and you buy one ticket, and then it works for train, buses, whatever you need for transportation for 1 hour and a half, and that includes even boats sometimes. So it's like for 1 hour and a half you can go anywhere. So you always pay the same ticket, and it's always the same. You rarely need to show it even, but you can buy it for the whole month, and it's much cheaper. So it's very smooth.
And you buy the only one ticket. As said, the bus stations are quite nice. If it's cold, it's protected, and you can like in some event you can even charge your phone. You can see when the bus is coming, like exactly the time. Those things are super easy to use.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
It's not crowded.
Yeah.
That makes it easier, I think.
Yep.
Already.
In the moment you buy the ticket via app, QR code are generated, so we can use it. As John said, it's valid for 90 minutes, so we can show in the transport and go to everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. And then there is one person asking here about the living costs, like rental costs and major expenses.
You guys spend much
Yeah,
more now with your
I think it can vary a lot depending on your lifestyle, of course, and what you do. Like here we have 3 different examples. It's for me right now, at least, it's just me and my wife. Gregory is your wife and a kid, and Joe is single. So we have 2 different comparisons. But the thing is that the most costly thing is the rental.
rent.
Yeah,
Rent
Rent
is
so is the most
it's expensive, and in the beginning it's not so easy to find like the perfect spot in a perfect location with a good price in the I mean in our first year here or something like that. So this is definitely
It can feel very challenging in the beginning.
it can be
with
challenging at the
rent,
beginning. Yeah.
But what do you spend for rents? Like if you think percentage of your income,
It's like
30%,
30, 20,
25, 30%?
depending where you live, how much you pay, but around that, I'd say.
That's the difference with Brazil. In Brazil, I think it's usually much cheaper.
Okay.
Here, rent can be quite expensive, but it's normal. It is how it is.
Yeah.
But you also
And it's maybe cheaper also if you live a little bit outside the city. That usually
Gothenburg
makes a
is
big
probably more expensive. Yeah, it's definitely more expensive than living in Kungsbacka. But I think in the end of the day, if you like to live in a big city, compared to like to live in a smaller city, because you compensate having more cost for transportation, kind of. So it kind of makes up for the difference. So it's more what you prefer and like, I think.
Yeah, there's another thing for those who are new in the country. At first, it's not possible to get. It's pretty hard to get a first-hand contract. This is another thing for part of the Swedish society, I would say. But as soon as you been living for more time, longer in the country, you'll be eligible to apply for a first-hand contract. Then the rent price tends to decrease with the time. But at first, it is indeed expensive.
Yeah, because you cannot get a first-hand contract if you don't come here first, get the Swedish personal number, then you can get a first-hand contract.
You have to have everything first, documentation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something nice to mention, I guess, because Ex-Libro is very helpful in this process to find apartment and to explain how things work. Yeah. Because when you get to new countries, like, I don't even know how things work. How do I apply? How do I find apartments? Where? Which website? Everything is in Swedish? And I think it was very, very helpful for me.
Yeah, my first apartment Ex-Libro helped me to arrange. Before I arrived here, I already had like a place.
You already had
a so it's
same for me. Same.
Yeah, that's.
And what about food? How much would you say you spend in food if you want to say that here online?
Yeah, if we said that like rent can be like 30%, 20%, food would be like 10, 15, depend how much in the winter is more.
What?
You stay more at home and you normally you buy more things to eat.
You eat more.
I eat more at least.
Interesting. Maybe like 10% is fair.
Yeah, and I would say it can vary even more than the rent price because it depends a lot of the family, the size of the family, the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but I think if you put total fixed costs, you get what 70% of your salary.
Total fixed,
something around that.
Yeah,
it's easier to save money here. If I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I think so.
Good to hear from the single guy.
If you think like, I don't know if anybody cares about it, but like you have like, for example, what's called the iPhone index. How many months of saving money will it take in each country to buy a new iPhone? It's like for a comparison for McDonald's or this kind of things that you can compare. And it's like in Sweden, if you save up to 2-3 months, you buy a new iPhone. Like if you really save for that, I mean, like, and in Brazil, it can take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
In average, of course, but so these kind of things, electronic things, it's cheaper here. It's almost half the price sometimes. I remember when I was thinking of buying a computer, I checked the price in Brazil was literally half.
Wow.
And I was like, that's crazy. I would just buy one to my family. It's like it's so much different.
Yeah. Okay, great. Is there something that you want to add that you feel like we didn't cover that is good to know?
We cover a lot of
We
things.
talked about a lot of things.
To complement on what John said, ex-people actually played a crucial role and when supporting me and my wife, especially when relocating to Sweden. So it was really important. It's not every company that provides the support, and it's hard to get the things when you are not familiar with the rules, when the procedures, especially final accommodation, and also the documentation process. It can be different depending on the family, depending on the person.
Yeah.
In my case, for instance, I have the German citizenship, and my wife has only.
That makes it much easier, I guess. Like,
yes,
not that it's hard, but it's even smoother.
Yeah, I don't need to work permission to work here. Like, if I only had a Brazilian passport, but this is a different process. Sorry,
the German passport.
Yeah, if you have a passport from some country in Europe,
yeah, exactly.
you can work.
I mean, if I had only the Brazilian passport, then I would need the work permit, right? But my wife only has the Brazilian passport, so this is a different process. Not both couples coming from Brazil, or both couples are considered European in this way, and ex-people supported us in a very good way in this sense. So yeah, just wanted to point that.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we will finish up here. But thank you very much for joining. It was super nice to hear your answers.
And to you all know, this is not fake. So we are going to eat this as soon as it's finished. So it's important.
Good point. Yeah.
I thought that the fruits were fake at first time.
So you saw me eating it. Was I saw it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining. If you're interested in reading more, you can also read on our website, or you can check out our career page if you want to apply for it.
Check William's blog.
Yes.
Yeah, check William's blog.
Check William's blog. It's good.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.